Yo, how's it going, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to keep it very tactical, but yet very simple on how to close sales in the DMs for your digital products, because the way that we sell digital items is in the DMs, because we want to sell products between $100 even up to a couple $1,000s, right? We don't want to sell $20 ebooks. We want to sell at least for a couple $100. If you need help with that whole process, go to another video on my channel, even just a couple ones before this. I go over that process, but today we're going to talk about how to actually talk to customers in the DMs and close the deals and make money, okay? And it's the same way I have students making deals like this in the DMs, $240 profit in the DMs, $137 sale profit in the DMs, $150 sale in the DMs, profit, $112 sale profit in the DMs, $240 in the DMs, all profit. And again, this is all with DMs. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that strategy today. So number one is understanding trust building, okay? Because the first component to talking to a customer in the DMs is understanding how to build trust, okay? You can't just go in for the sale, because that's not how sales works, right? And think about it this way. If you were approached at a restaurant, right? You're at a restaurant, you're eating, and a man comes up to you and they immediately try to sell you. They come up to you, they want to wash your car for $100. Boom. They're trying to sell you off the bat. What's going to happen is your guard goes up, because this person just went straight for the kill, right to sell you into services. Without building any trust, you don't know the guy, he just wants to sell you. So in sales, and what we want to do in the DMs is we want to lower the lead. We call them leads, because if they're, before they become a customer and pay you, they're called a lead, in case you didn't know. The lead, they have buyer resistance. Our job is what? Eliminate the buyer resistance. And we do that by having a casual, human-friendly conversation, okay? Ask questions. Find out their pain points. Where have they been struggling? What is their goals? What's their current situation like? We call this rapport building, okay? If leads don't feel sold, if leads feel sold, their buyer wall goes up. If they don't feel sold, it goes down, okay? So if they feel like they're being sold really hard, their buyer wall goes up. So the resistance goes up. If they don't feel like they're being sold, if they feel like they're just having a casual, cool conversation, their buyer wall goes down, okay? So we always start without selling anything. We always start with just trust building, okay? Now, when you get a lead in the DMs, do this. Ask them 4 to 5 questions in a casual, friendly way, okay? Now, what questions you're probably asking? Well, ask about their current situation. Ask what their goal are, what goal do they want to hit? What obstacles have they faced? Because again, we want to build trust. We want to know the pains they have. What's their obstacles? What is the desires they want, right? What is the goal they're going for? And we want to build trust with them and put their buyer wall down. So the beginning is just conversating, put the resistance down, build trust, and figure out their pain points, their desires, okay? Number 2 is, why do we use the DMs to close sales? Well, it's very simple. If you sell a digital item for $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $2,000, then your customer will need to be sold on it, and there's going to be trust that has to be built. Because ask yourself the question, would you pay someone, let's say $500, by going to the link in their bio and then just paying it? Or would you need to be convinced, and would you have to build more trust? Well, knowing myself, I would have to build more trust, ask questions, and be a bit more convinced before I do that, okay? So in the DMs, this gives you the ability to chat with the lead, right? To talk with them, to build a connection, to follow up with them if they go ghost. And you can sell your item better. You could talk about it more, you can convince more, send videos, whatever you want to do, you have that direct conversation, okay? So you're more likely to close the sale talking directly to them over text, opposed to just the link in the bio. Now, selling your item to them. Let's talk more about this, right? After you've built the trust, you have to understand how to frame your item. What does this mean, okay? You need to frame your digital product as the solution to the issue they're facing and the bridge to their goals, okay? Because they have an issue, and you need to frame your solution, your digital item, as the solution to that problem, right? This is the bridge to get to their desires. Now, a key to framing your item is, yes, framing it as the solution they need to hit the goal they want, but you also need to add a level of limitedness and exclusivity to it, okay? So you have to not only position it as this is a solution, but people tend to gravitate more to things that are limited or exclusive, right? Because if there's unlimited spots or seats or anyone can do something, it loses some specialness to it. But when there's limitedness or exclusivity, there's this frame of urgency to it, okay? So how do you frame your digital item? Well, let's say you're talking to a lead. You've already asked the questions. You've already figured out their pain point or desires. You can say something like this. Got it, man. Totally makes sense. I actually have a limited group where I help others hit whatever goal they want, whatever you're teaching. So let's say they say it's a fitness product and they want to gain 20 pounds of muscle and your item teaches that. So you could say, got it, man, makes sense. I actually have a limited group where I help others like you hit an extra 10 to 30 pounds of muscle. I really feel this could help you and you'd be a solid addition. Could I break down how it all works? So we did two things here. Number one is we framed it as a solution to their goal, right? We say we've helped others like you hit an extra 10 to 30 pounds of muscle. So we framed it as this is a solution to their problem. And we've added some exclusivity and some limitedness, right? By saying it's a limited group and by saying that you'd be a good addition, right? We're trying to frame it as it's limited, it's, it's hand selected. It's not just a public thing, but you got to be selected or picked. There's got to be some limitedness to it. And once that's done, how do you sell your digital product? Well, we use a 3-step system, okay? You break down your offer in 3 steps of what it includes, right? So when you go over how it works or what's inside, you break it down in 3 steps on how it can help them, right? So maybe you give them the diet plan. We give you the step-by-step strategy on how to work out. We give you support. You want to break it down in 3 steps, exactly what they're going to get that's going to help them hit that goal, okay? Your goal is to pitch your digital item as a solution to their problem. Let's change that real quick. And it should include exactly what they would need to hit their desired point, okay? So if this person needs to gain 20 pounds of muscle, and that's their problem, and that's their desire is to gain 20 pounds of muscle, you need to frame your thing, right? You need to break it down in 3 steps, how it's going to help them hit their goal, okay? And how these 3 steps are going to help them hit their desired point. Now, let me give you a small example of a good starter of a DM conversation, right? So let's say the lead DMs you and says, how do I learn? How do I lose weight, right? And you could say, hey, bro, or hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. Are you brand new to state what your digital item teaches? So are you brand new to working out, right? And they might say, yes, I am. And we say, solid, man. What's got you motivated to start and dig into working out and bulking up? Maybe they say, I want to better my life and become better. And we can say, cool, that's really respectable, dude. What is the situation like right now? Would you mind sharing a bit about how your situation is? We'd love to hear and see if I can help you. Now, what are we doing so far? We're breaking down the buyer resistance. We're not selling them our guide off the bat and saying, yeah, man, we can totally help you. Here's my digital guide or my digital course. We're doing what? We're building rapport. We're building trust. We're asking questions, right? We're figuring out, are they brand new? We're figuring out what their goal is. We're figuring out their current situation. We're building that trust. And we're doing it in a very casual way. We're not using big professional selling, sales words. We're very casual. We're trying to what? Bring down the buyer resistance. Now, maybe they respond to that and then you would go on with the conversation, but I just want to show you an example, guys, right? So they would message us, hey, bro, nice to meet you. Are you brand new to working out? Yeah, solid, man. What's got you motivated to start and dig into working out and bulking up? I want to better my life. Cool, that's respectable, dude. What's your situation like right now? Would you mind sharing a bit? I'd love to hear it and see if I can help you, right? That's just a small example of the start of a conversation to give you guys an understanding on how that works and why it works, right? It works because you're building human connection, trust, rapport, okay? So those are just some tips on how to talk to leads and actually close those deals. And as you can see, I've helped hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people make money selling digital products. And by the way, every single result here, they all close their sales through the DMs with our DM techniques. So again, we show you how to literally close those deals in the DMs And, we have tons of results to back it up and show that it works. If you want to start selling digital products, if you're brand new to it, you want to learn more about how to close those deals in the DMs, how to sell the right digital items, everything like that, go to my Instagram, @BrendenStein, DM me the word bank, or DM me a question. I'd be happy to answer any questions or get you the information on how our private program works. So if you want to learn more about how our digital dropshipping, digital item program works, shoot me a DM. If you just have a question in general, shoot me a DM. And if you enjoyed, just follow, subscribe, and like the video. Talk soon.